are now witnessing the moment where JC Stevenson ran a brand new collegiate lead in the 60-meter dash. And coincidentally, it also makes him the fastest man in the world this year to run that event indoors. But don't be fooled. He is a long jumper with an NCAA championship already to back it up. But before I get into all that, allow me to address why I make these videos. Because college track and field at its highest level is basically Olympic level. But it's incredibly hard to actually follow the sport. That's even if you wanted to. So instead, I decided that I would bring it to you every single week of the season. And I can now say pretty confidently that at this point during the indoor season, if you have any plans of winning something at the national championship meet, you probably should have showed us something by now. Which is probably why a whole bunch of athletes decided to go off this past weekend. And remember, I am primarily focusing on all of the performances that say that you are not just a collegiate leader, but probably have a very real shot to win it all when you get to the NCAA championship meet. And it all starts on the women's side, where Jaya Covington of Texas A&M ran a brand new collegiate lead in the 60 hurdles by 1/100th of a second. It's fast enough where she's definitely booked her tickets to the NCAAs, but this will actually be the first time that she goes indoors. And she's now coming to this one as one of the favorites. But in the women's 400, Olympian Aaliyah Butler came back to college and ran incredibly fast in the 400-meter dash, which is the event that made her an Olympian in the first place. But she's still not the collegiate leader. That would be Jamisia Ford, because her time from last week is still holding up. But almost nothing compares to what Wilma Nielsen did in the mile at the Dr. Sander Invitational, because she is now the third fastest woman to ever run the mile indoors in a college uniform. She finished second in that meet, behind Caitlin Toohey herself, which isn't surprising because even though Caitlin Toohey is a pro, the woman in first on that collegiate mile leaderboard is her. And she did it at the exact same meet a few years ago. And the Nebraska Cornhuskers gave us two new collegiate leads, between Jenna Rogers in the high jump and Axelina Johansson in the shot put. But Giovanna Meeks of California decided that the weight throw is now her event. So you're not winning a national title without going through her. But I cannot forget what Ruta Lemaine of Texas Tech pulled off in the triple jump, because she went 45 feet, 11¼ inches. So yeah, it's getting real out there. But if you're new here, I want to say thank you for even making it this far into the video. And I'm Coach Rob, the founder of SCArecruiting.com, where I rank the best track and field recruits across the entire nation. And if anything that I say actually connects with you, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe. But if I don't, just let me know in the comment section, because I try to read them all. Moving on to the men's side, I do have to address the 60-meter dash situation. And yes, it is still a situation, because JC Stevenson did set a collegiate lead by running 6.50 seconds. But that time that he put on the boards for USC is technically run at altitude. So it's going to be converted down to 6.52, which now ties him with Barnabas Agur, who represents William Carey University in the NAIA. With all the speed USC has in their uniform, nobody would have expected JC Stevenson to be the collegiate leader at this point in the season. Remember, he is a national champion already in the long jump. But hey, you can't jump far if you don't have speed. And apparently, he had a whole lot of speed. And the action in the sprints did not stop there, because a whole bunch of men ran fast in the 200-meter dash. Max Thomas of USC got in on the action, along with 200-meter Olympic finalist Maka Sharamba of Auburn. Ahmad Robinson of Texas A&M ran fast with them. And freshman Ajani Dwyer of Penn State matched his fast 60-meter dash by putting one of the fastest 200s on the board as well. But remember, none of these times caught up with Carly Makarawu of Kentucky, who's also an Olympian himself, for what he did last weekend. But we actually do have a new collegiate lead, finally in the 400. It's Logan Popelka of Texas. That time is not only the first man to break 46 this year indoors, but it also validates him after running one of the top 10 fastest times we've ever seen indoors in the 300. But if you're asking me, none of these performances can compare to what we witnessed from Abdullahi Hassan of Mississippi State, but formerly of Wisconsin in the 800. He ran the number 6 time, all time in that event for a collegiate athlete. And nobody who ran last season ran that fast at any point in the year. So it's pretty clear to me who is the favorite now in that event. But we also have a new collegiate leader in the pole vault. It's Hunter Garrettson of Akron. And although he's not from a power conference, this is what he does. Because he's been at the NCAAs multiple times competing for medals. And keeping up that same energy for the small schools was Trey Knight of Cal State Northridge. Because he is now the collegiate leader in the weight throw. So regardless of what uniform he's wearing, you have to take him seriously from this point on. What I love about college track and field is that the lanes on a track do not discriminate. They really don't care at all what uniform you're wearing, what school you compete for, or what division you do it in. And if you really want to be a national champion, you should know by now who you're going to have to beat in order to get that title. The season is only half over, and I know more big performances are coming. But I also know this to be true. Only one person gets to be at the top of the leaderboard. And if that happens to be you, it also comes with a target on your back, because we will be paying attention. But you also now have the talent to back it up. If you think you need help getting recruited, you are probably right. On SCArecruiting.com, you can get a ton of resources, like my free recruiting guide, detailed videos, online courses, and much more. And if nothing else, and you just really want to see more content like this, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe.